hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. Now, this part of the video, this is where I kind of candidly talk about what I like, what I didn't like, or not necessarily that, because I haven't had a chance to see the game more than some videos and some interviews, and I haven't got a chance to play the game behind the scenes like some individuals have, and they haven't opened up a beta or anything like as far as open as of yet. So this is just kind of just watching stuff. So one of the concerns or things I'm like, man, is if it's true that this is going to come out during the same launch window as Grand Theft Auto 6, a lot of games are going to have a drop in people paying attention to it, like eyes on it. You want eyes on your game, especially if it's a well-made game. You want people to see it. You want people to fall into that game loop where they need to play it. They have to play it. And Grand Theft Auto 6 is one of those games that it's going to be everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a fast food value meal where you're going to get some type of toy or specialty item from the game. It's going to be something that's everywhere. And like I said before in other videos, since COVID, when it comes to video games, I think we're more critical to them because we're like, hey, look, we only have so much money. We only have so much time. And if we're going to put it into this and it's just not what we want, then one, we're just going to walk away from it, play something else. Or two, we're not going to pre-order it. We're not going to wish list it. We're just going to move on to something else because we might have been burnt by another game in the past. Cheating. This game is going to start off on PC, and I'll mention that as well before I go into cheating. Right now, this is PC only. It's not a surprise. It's like, oh, what a twist. The game's going to be on PC only right now. You know, if the game is doing what it needs to do, then I could see it moving on to the consoles. But right now, it's PC only. So unless you have Steam or one of the mobile PC handhelds, that's really it for you, and I don't see that as a bad thing. Again, they said they're making the game their way. It might not be for you. There's other games on consoles you can do. But the cheating, a lot of times when you're playing PC, I think a lot of people feel like there's more cheating on that because it's such a bigger system versus the consoles, while a lot of times those ecosystems kind of keep certain things in check. Like I've been banned from a game from not knowing that I was using an emulator. Shame on me, but that's what it was. I was playing a mobile gotcha game and it got me. It is what it is. Longer. This is a longer gameplay loop. They're saying that these matches are going to be anywhere between 40 to 60 minutes per match. Right now on paper, that just seems kind of long for me, maybe on the weekend or a holiday. But as far as getting the family together and putting dinner on the table or working or going outside to cut the grass and doing those things or trying to play some remnants of what golf is supposed to look like, I may not have time to sit down and lock in for 45 to 60 minutes. So it is a longer loop than a lot of these games are. The other thing I would say is the Call of Duty Battlefield Tarkov conversation. You're going to hear that. The devs have said you shouldn't be saying that or talking about it. They're not the same. They visually showcase where they're at. And yes, they're closer to a Tarkov mil spec, but they're not all the way over there. They didn't go full I'm not going to say it. Not to say that game has. I'm just saying, it was a pop culture reference. It is what it is. But it's a different game, and they just want people to understand that. The other thing is they had a past game. It was Battalion 1944. They talked that one up. It had a lot of promise of it, but it didn't lead up to the expectations. So it's kind of a thing. I look at certain games, I say, well, what did they do that was similar, and how was that received? And that's just one of those things. Now, that's just the stuff where I'm like, hey man, that's the stuff that's areas of concern, and a lot of these concerns will be addressed as the devs talk about stuff, as people play these games, and content creators who are much larger get more access to it to be able to say, hey, this is what you're seeing in the game. So can't wait for the more information onto that. Now let's talk about some of the stuff that I'm like, man, this looks pretty cool. This is the stuff I'm kind of hyped about. The first thing is the play your way. I think that's the really cool thing about it. I mentioned it once or twice already in the full video, but play your way. It allows you to just have fun playing it the way you want to, because like Battlefield will tell you that you can do something like that, and I play as a healer, and I run around just giving people band-aids, and what happens is you're just, it's not that you're not needed, it's not like, oh man, nobody needs me, it's just your role of what you're doing doesn't seem that it's you're playing your way. The game is designed where you need to be pushing, you need to be first person shooter focused, third person shooter focused. You're focused on getting kills. The rest of the stuff really doesn't hold a significant weight. Even if you're flying the vehicles like the jets and the helicopter, get kills or get wrecked. That's just what it is. You don't have a lot of moments where you're like, man, we would have lost if we didn't have the medics and the recon doing what they're supposed to. So that's pretty cool. And the other part about it is making a game their way. There was a game, a wrestling game. I don't want to say the name of it because I'll just say it was the Wrestling Code, and it was supposed to be a project passionately from some devs. And for that game, for whatever the reason is, it just hasn't seen the light of day, and it's been a lot of time that's passed on it. But they're focused on it, like kind of like how that game spoke about it is, hey, look, we're making a game our way. It is what it is. Kick rocks. I will say the play smart, get money. I like that. And just the idea of playing the game gets money. See, a lot of times you play these games and there is a progression. And yes, ideally you're playing the game, but you're trying to, check off objectives and stuff like that, that again, don't necessarily have it where you're playing your way. It looks like in some of these videos that any given match, you could level up, shooting or medic or recon and some other ones while playing in one whole match. So you could be a first person shooter / I'm going to get the kills, but I'm also into being a medic. I'm also into recon. I'm also into whatever the case is. And it's pretty cool that you could see some people say, hey, listen, if you had to start the account again, this is what you want to do. You want your build to be this, in a sense, like Arc Raiders. A lot of people were like, hey, this is where you want to spec into your tree. I remember Outsiders, another game, that one didn't last long, but that one was a game that had a tree as well. And so people were kind of curious about that. And the other thing that I'm like, whoa, this is pretty cool, but we see it in shooters, Division is not one to be shy about it as well, is coming up with your sound design and the way your bullets move. Just to name, a few aspects of adding a sense of realism. They want to add a sense of realism, but they don't want to go full realism. They're saying, they want you to understand, like, hey, yeah, it's a shooter game, but also have fun. And I'm just curious to see what that would look like with the Division. And again, it's a game that I spent hours, would be saying lower amount. I was playing Division for years, and it's not one of those games where it's like that. But when they would design the game, they would talk about it and say, hey, with the Division 1 and 2, we redid the sounds and the bullets, and each gun's going to feel different, and it's going to do this. And then you play the game, and it's like, yeah, but not the satisfaction that you want. With this one, they were showing the bullets, how they would enter, a certain material, wood or glass, and how it would change. And you're standing in a puddle versus you standing on the shoulder of the road would change the trajectory of the bullet and the speed and how it would hit. That is pretty cool, man. The sound, they're like, hey, look, we don't give you a hit marker. I'm talking to you, Ubisoft, where the screen is full of all this stuff. They're like, we don't give you a marker. What we do is we give you a slight sound effect when you hit a target, but it's really the justification, satisfaction of seeing that money hit your bank account, knowing that you dropped that person, you got that kill, you got that XP. And it was one of the things when I talked about the NBA on the Run game that's getting ready to come out this summer, 2026. That game just didn't have the satisfaction and the endorphins where like it kicks your brain off and say, oh man, I did something pretty cool. And this game is awarding that. Even when you get a kill, like I think a headshot, there's a certain sound that plays for just a little bit faintly. And that I think that's pretty cool to be able to get that. And before you know it, you're going to know. Also, bullets whizzing by you. That's your like audio cue versus visual, seeing something that you just had a near miss. So you're going to hear them in a different sound. So I can imagine if you got the right headsets on or the right gaming setup. And even explosions, there's certain explosions that are going to sound different. Missiles will sound different, give or take, if it's supersonic, all that other terminology I don't understand. But that's really cool that they would put that in the game. They would add that in the game. So I don't know. Those are the things, like I said, not good or bad, but it's just areas I'm looking at, whether areas of concern or areas where I'm like, yo, this seems pretty cool. I can't wait to go around with this.